I'm Jake Rigby. I studied Naval Architecture MSc at UCL. I then went straight out into a career in naval architecture at a company called BMT. BMT is a risk engineering and management consultancy company working mainly in the maritime sector, but critically act as a ship designer from everything from aircraft carriers to specialist vessels and even doing smaller crew transfer vessels to support offshore wind farms. I started at BMT as a naval architect and then promoted to senior naval architect within the first 5 years of my career. And then I took a slightly different route by going into the research and development management side of the business. So still working in ship design under naval architecture, but managing new vessels as they come through, new ideas, new technologies. I really like how the naval architecture skills that I've learnt are still really relevant in this wider research coordination role. Everything obviously still has that maritime hint to it, so therefore the direct technical elements are useful. But also, naval architecture is about bringing together different aspects of the ship design, and that innovation and research management is about bringing together different aspects, different ideas into something consistent. The UCL MSc is the only naval architecture degree in the country that specifically focuses on the defence application side. So having that extra information, having extra detail from the lecturers meant that that course was focused exactly where I wanted my career to go. My individual project whilst doing the MSc was on something called shock-capable pillars. So what that means is on board ships you quite often have pillars to hold up the higher level decks and to create large open spaces on board. But there's always a worry, especially in defence applications, that those pillars could create a weakness if there is an explosion or some kind of shock event. So my MSc really focused on creating a pillar design that was survivable. It had a small crumple zone like you would see on a car, and that enables it, even under the worst conditions, it would still be able to absorb that impact and energy in the right place and still function afterwards as a pillar. One of the elements of the course I'm most proud of is following on from the dissertation. I submitted my paper into the Royal Institution of Naval Architects journals, and I won an award for the best structural paper that year, which really nice surprise. Studying the MSc at UCL was really different to previous university experiences that I had. Probably partially due to the smaller class sizes, you really came together as a team. We were in the same room, working every day, sharing notes, sharing ideas. Even when we weren't working on group projects, we were still talking to each other and sharing information. The ship design project was a real highlight of the whole degree. It enabled us to put all of the information and knowledge that we'd been previously gathering up in our minds into practice. Yes, we did have some tough judges who were always putting you through your paces, making sure that your designs are as good as they could be, but it enables you to really test out novel ideas. One thing that I think makes the MSc stand out is the close connection with industry. So it's not just lecturers from the academic environment. You have lecturers who have previously been in industry, you have lecturers who are seconded out from industry, and you even have guest lecturers coming in with that industry expertise. What that means is that everything has real context. You're not just learning the derivation from fundamental engineering principles, but you're seeing how it's being used and learning what that means, what the important aspects are. If someone was thinking about doing an MSc and maybe on the fence, wasn't too sure, I would definitely say to go for the UCL MSc in Naval Architecture. For me, it wasn't just the knowledge gained, it was the experiences, it was the contacts, and all of those things together enabled my career to develop to the way that it has done today.